How is it going, guys? I guess this week is just taillight week for us because we are installing yet another set of taillights. This time around though, we're installing them on the WRX. In the last video, we installed some on the GR86. But today, we have got the very first prototypes from Archaic. They have been making lights for quite some time now. They actually made headlights and taillights for the first gen FRS and BRZ, as well as the second gen, and now they're making lights for the WRX. So we're gonna be working closely with them to hopefully produce some of the coolest lights for these cars. So let's open up the box and see what we've got to work with. So like I said, inside this box, we have the first prototypes here in the States. I have actually not seen these before besides a couple photos, so I'm curious to see how they look on the car. And what I find really interesting is that these are actually 3D printed. So it's cool to see that 3D printing technology being integrated into different products. And I'm wondering if I'm gonna be able to tell that they're 3D printed. I guess we'll find out. Look at those. So there's the driver's side and the passenger side. Taking a look at these, I've got to say I am super impressed with how far along 3D printing technology has come, because unless I take a close look at these, I wouldn't be able to notice. And these are only 3D printed because they're prototypes. The actual production models are gonna be molded just like any other light. But keep in mind, because these are prototypes, the final product is gonna have a much cleaner finish and may also look and function a bit differently. But the main thing is to ensure that they fit and work like they're supposed to, which is what we're gonna be testing out today. So let's take a look at these here. The lens is supposed to be clear, although it kind of has a bluish, smoky tint to it. These are going to be available with either a clear or smoked lens with either a red or white bar. Obviously, we have the red version here. So the running light goes across the top here with scales along the bottom, and then we have a sequential turn signal right above that. And then the center section here is going to function both as the reverse and the brake light. You should also be able to turn the sequential turn signal on and off. So if you'd rather have just a normal blinking turn signal, you can do that. And this also has a unique startup sequence as well. So let me show you guys how to get these installed on the car, and then I can run through the functions with you guys. If you've never taken the taillights off your WRX, don't worry, it is super easy to do. Probably the easiest I've done on any car I've worked on, which really isn't that many, but let me show you guys how easy it is. Once you pop the trunk, you're gonna see this panel on the inner side of the taillight here that's held in place with one pop clip at the top. Take a Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew this until it pops out like so, and then we can pull it out. Now you wanna take a plastic pry tool and put it into this gap and pry that piece out. That's gonna reveal two 10mm bolts that we can unscrew. Once those bolts are removed, we wanna grab the taillight and we're gonna rotate the inner side of the taillight towards the outside of the car to pop the clip free that's holding it in place on the outer side. You're gonna hear it pop out like that, and then we can pull the taillight out and unplug it. Same thing on the other side. Again, we're just inserting the pry tool into this gap between the gasket and the trim piece and popping it towards the back of the car, and then rotating this out. I'll give you guys another angle of removing the taillight. Again, we're grabbing the inner side of the taillight and pulling it back and towards the outer side of the car until we hear that pop. Now we can pull the taillight out and unplug it, and then we can install the new lights. These new lights from Archaic are 100% plug and play, so we have an OEM style connector that we just plug into the OEM harness. And they install just like these stock lights. So make sure the pin goes into the clip here on the outside. And once you have that lined up, we'll reinstall the hardware. Now we just reinstall the trim piece. That should just pop into place. And then slide the clip back into place. And then we can do the other side. These also have a resistor built in that will be mounted on the back side. So hopefully these don't have any issues with hyper blinking with the turn signals. Fingers crossed. For now, we'll just tuck everything back here. There we go. This one looks like it must have went through some stuff because they had to glue some pieces back together here. And there we go. Like I said, super easy. Let's hop inside the car and run through the functions. I'm gonna start by turning the headlights on so you can see the startup sequence, which is a sequential and breathing effect before the lights become solid. And this is how the lights are gonna look when you're driving around at night with your headlights on. Now, one thing to note, it probably looks mostly orange in the video, but I promise you it's actually red in person. But you can see that it is the sea light portion that's lit up. And then I'll step on the brake here, and that's the center portion and the top portion of the light that gets lit up with the brake light. And here is the hazards. So you can see the sequential turn signals. I've told them to ensure that you're able to turn this on and off. So if you aren't a fan of sequential turn signals, you'll be able to turn it off and have just a normal blinking turn signal. It'll likely be a switch or connection of some kind. Put the car into reverse. And this is also the center portion, the bottom center portion of the light right under the brake light. And now I'll turn the headlights off so you can see how the lights are gonna look during the day. So here are the brake lights again. This time it's gonna be the center portion and the sea light. So that's what the brake light is when your headlights are off. And here's the sequential turn signals again. And then the reverse light again. Now that we've seen the functionality, let's take a closer look at the fit and finish. If we look at the gap around the taillight, it looks to have a very uniform gap all the way around. No big spaces that are sticking out to me. And then let's see if it lines up with that black trim piece on the trunk. It does. So that's great to see that the fit is pretty much spot on. One thing I'm gonna suggest they do is to have the outer portion of the lens here gloss black to match the trim piece on the trunk, just like the OEM taillight. I feel like that's gonna flow much better into the whole design of the rear end rather than just having an all clear or all smoked lens. But let me know what you guys think. Personally, I'm a big fan of that running light design with the scales, and I'm a sucker for a good sequential turn signal. But if you guys have any suggestions or changes you'd like to see in the appearance or the functionality, leave a comment down below and I'll relay that information to Archaic. A lot of you are probably wondering about mainly two things. When are they gonna be available and how much are they going to cost? So let me share with you guys what I know. Pre-orders are likely going to go live late next month or early March, and we're hoping to have these available to ship out in April. Obviously, things can change. If they do, I'll keep you guys updated. As far as pricing goes, they're gonna fall around $550 to $650. Final pricing is still yet to be set, but once I find out, I'll let you guys know. And like I said, they're available with a clear or smoke lens with red or white bar. Personally, I think they look great. They'll look even better with the black accents. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the running light design with the scales that go along the bottom, and I'm a sucker for the sequential turn signal. But let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and feedback, so feel free to comment down below. But that is gonna do it for today, guys. If you're enjoying all the new content, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.